It's time for some tourism.
Mega tourism.
Yeah, mega tourism. Can you even see the waterfall through the crowd? Is there? Well, it's starting to thin out a bit. Like a bunch of buses just arrived here at Plitvice.
It's a national park that is kind of like their Yosemite or their Yellowstone or whatever like that.
We're going to call it PNP for short.
Yeah, because we don't really know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, so we're at PNP. And PNP is extremely popular because what we've heard is it is incredibly beautiful. Like jaw-droppingly beautiful. And we have walked no more than 20 feet and we're seeing like a gigantic waterfall. Like one that I would say is on the scale of top 10 for maybe not in beauty but in scale. And I think it's only going to get prettier and more diverse and interesting as we go.
I hope so, because it was quite expensive. Like, I was shocked at how much money this cost to get in.
Yeah, it's 150 kuna, which means it's $30. Under $30 per person. Yeah. We've been dividing everything by 5 so that we feel like in the end we're not spending as much as we think we're spending. But yeah, $30 per person. And
then we had to pay for a bus to get up here, which was about a 2-hour ride. But yeah, I mean, for $30, that's a lot of money in this part of in this country.
How much waterfall does that? Like, how much waterfall do you need? I mean, is there like a scale? And
that's like $3 or $4 worth of waterfall right there. So we're off to a good start.
Okay, $3 or $4 worth of water. Okay, so 10% down on this waterfall. Okay, good to know. The waterfall that we're looking at is Veliki Slap. It is the biggest waterfall here in PNP. And there's gorgeous colors. Like, where's this green coming from? It doesn't make any sense. And the splashes of water entering the green just are lovely to me. It's time for some high definition. These are really dirty glasses. This is amazing. Look at the people over there.
It's pushing into summer here, and the whacker Newson is pretty excited about waiting for some snow. It looks like he's getting ready to do some scooping, but something tells me he might not be in any operation anytime soon. The whacker Newson.
He should be hibernating.
It's true, he should be hibernating.
What's hibernation in the summer?
It's a really good question. I don't know.
Are there any animals that hibernate in the summer?
Koalas?
You just hibernate all the time.
A defining feature of this park is that they have these wooden plank walkways that go back and forth across these bodies of water.
All over the place, from what I've seen.
And it's really, really nice looking. But I can't imagine if you came here with a 5-year-old or something. There's no rails. So it would be a nightmare with a toddler. You'd end up with a kid in the water. Like, I
think I did read somewhere that somebody said not suitable for children.
Yeah, that would be very much, and that's something that you don't hear much about from like a national park. Usually it's like, this is for children.
Yeah.
You know, this is for, but this would not be a place, it would be not okay if you had a little kid with you. Isn't too bad. That's another $1 right there. I almost fell.
You just hit me in the boob. I'm recording. Pay attention.
Tweak. Something that has already struck me here is how different each one of the waterfalls is. This one is like a little fat, like one with little tiny falls, and you get the big one with the big falls, and like we haven't walked but 20.
This one is stout.
Yeah. We haven't walked but 20 minutes into the park altogether, and it's just been a really diverse amount of like water things to see. Water foliage.
Dang it, foliage.
Yeah, and there's fish too. There's these little like trout or something like they're swimming around in here, and these beautiful, beautiful waters. It is astonishing here. I can't believe I've never even heard of this place before, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that is true. But I am assured that people who are planning to come here are learning about it and will be coming here because everybody is here.
Basically, it's the thing to do if you come to Croatia. As you walk around a lot of the waterfalls and stuff, all the sound is really intense, and you have wind coming on you from them, and like they're spraying on you. And like there's areas where you're walking on that walking path, and the water is coming up through it because they've built it so close to the water. So it's a bit of an adventure ride. Yep. And then you just pop out past the waterfall and you've got this super little serene walking path in this just flat, beautiful, quiet lake. And it's just really dynamic. I'm really impressed.
We've got a very unique map here that I've never seen anywhere before, and I'm gonna do my best to explain it. It took us a little bit to understand what we were looking at, but now we have a good grasp on it. PNP is on a hill. So essentially, we've been walking up ever since we got here. We started at what is called the lower lakes. So this is many lakes where you see the water. The stripes are the actual ground, the soil. The white are the crags that are causing pools. So these are just big rocks that have formed here, and now the water gets trapped inside, causing a lake. If too much water gets into the lake, we have a waterfall. So that's an amazing thing to understand about this map. We started here. We've come up to 2 different lakes, seen many waterfalls as we've been going, and what we're going to do is continue walking up the hill for the rest of the day and see lakes and waterfalls and lakes and waterfalls and lakes and waterfalls. One thing I didn't expect was public transport inside of the park.
Thankfully, it's included in the price.
Yeah,
so that does offset the price
true.
A little bit.
Yeah, so this is like $2 worth of boat.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
might be $2 worth
this might end up being a good value at the end.
Yeah, I think it will be. Yeah, so we're just hanging out on a boat, going from one end of a lake to the other end of a lake and to the bathroom because I gotta go. Nice lettuce. So we've read that food is scarce here in the park. And honestly, why would I go to a restaurant when I've come somewhere that is like the epitome of a reason for a picnic? This is mega picnic time. And so yesterday I went to the supermarket and I knew, all right, we're gonna need to get some sandwiches. Then I found this tiny bread. Why is it so small? Does it look small? Like some of the breads in Japan are bigger than my face.
I don't know. We need something like for scale. We don't have a banana.
Put your hand next to it. There's a smaller. That's a small pear. Anywho, yeah, there. This is how big the bread is. It is the palm of your hand. So I knew I'd have to bring some extra for Eric because that was not going to be one sandwich, would not do for him. So I found the bread, and that was quite easy. Bread was like for a loaf, a little over $1, so not very expensive. Then I knew that I was going to need some sort of spread, and I didn't want to buy like a jar of mayonnaise. That's just kind of ridiculous. So I went over to the yogurt, and I thought I was buying yogurt, but this is sour cream. Which is fine. I actually picked it because it had one of those like stickers on it that showed that it's really cheap and they need to get it out of there. This is going bad on the 27th. Okay. So gonna make some sour cream spread over here. Works just fine. I just ate one of these and it was quite good. It was cool and refreshing. So just smear on some sour cream there. Then we're gonna get our lettuce. Lettuce was a little more expensive than I expected. Like I've been used to paying about 50 cents for an entire head of lettuce, and this was about 75.
Dude, we should start a channel, just you making ghetto food.
Oh, dude, I make ghetto food. If you see me like at our house, sometimes I'm just like, what could I mix and just, I don't want to go to the store. So we have Tabasco and tomato paste. It's probably going to taste good together. I don't think that's going to be bad. So yeah, that's me at the house. I'm a food MacGyver. Then we got our meat. We don't know what kind of meat this is. We've tried to translate what's on the box. I bought it without even like, it was the cheapest meat that they had. So it might not be meat. And yeah, real cheap. It's kind of, it feels weird. It feels weirdly light. Like there's air bubbles inside and it may float away. This one, I did not go for is going bad. that was worrisome. I was willing to make that gamble on the sour cream, but not on the meat. You gotta make sure that the meat that you're getting isn't gonna make you sick. And I'm feeling really talented about my my meat. You know how when you watch the commercials for sandwiches, they're always like curling the meat like this? I am sorry, but I am professional.
Yo, that's a lot of meat.
That's how I made my sandwich.
You gotta double down on some cheese now.
Yeah, I did. I think this is Gouda. I know that sounds really weird. We're doubling down on that.
All right, that's good.
But it says Gouda. It was the Gouda, so I went with the Gouda. It's also very cheap. That was a 1. And now you have your supermarket sandwich and your picnic in a lovely setting. I made it. Look at that. Look at the waves. Woo! This is the nicest looking sandwich I've ever made. Maybe it's that when you start making them and they get big with the big bread, it just starts looking terrible. But when you get the little bread, containable.
I think I found another couple dollars worth of value here. They've got a bus, big semi with trailers. It's like a train bus. And
wow, that was awesome.
it takes you up to, I guess, the highest one of the lakes.
Yeah.
And then you can just walk back down from there to kind of like a midpoint area. So we're on this like jungle like cruise on the road.
And normally, like, I would challenge us to go up and just walk it instead of riding the bus.
We're a bit pinched on time,
but
though.
we are a bit pinched on time. The buses, the way that it worked is we
like the
got
bus is back
here-
to the city, not the bus we're on.
Well, the bus from Zadar, which is where we started this morning, it dropped us off here at 10:30, and we have to leave at 5 o'clock. And I read that it takes like 6 hours to go through the park, and we don't have 6 hours, so we can cut out some time by riding this awesome car.
And it's
I
actually
might
pretty
ride it
fun.
again.
We're in the very back of 3 cars, and it's like whipping us around. It's pretty good.
It's really nice.
So I don't know, maybe
Seriously,
there's
we have
another
extra time. I'm doing this again.
$3 or $4 more dollars.
Depends on how many times I get to ride it.
It's like Space Mountain.
Yeah. Oh, here it comes. Wait for it. There it is. Yeah.
Jeez.
We're at the top now.
After a little walk through the woods, we busted out onto another lake. And this one is even sketchier as far as the boardwalk goes than the last one was.
They're a bit older.
Yeah, and it kind of wobbles a little bit when you walk on it.
And I think we've been walking past some people who are actually scared and they refuse to move from the middle of the planks.
So when you're trying to pass them, you're like, oh.
They're pushing us off so that they can remain in the middle. And it's like, we gotta work together here so we both don't end up wet.
One of the complaints that people have had about this park that we've seen online is that it gets super, super, super crowded. And I guess that's something that happens when the tourist season starts to pick up. And we're here in mid-April, almost the end of April. And the tourist season is starting here in Croatia, but I think we're quite lucky that this park is not slam-packed full of people. Because I think walking along these things, passing huge tour groups and stuff, like somebody's going in.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question about it. People would get bumped off the edge. So I'm quite happy that we managed to come here at the time we did. And there were some tourists and stuff at the beginning. I mean, we're tourists. There were groups of tourists earlier.
You're here.
Yeah, I that's what I'm doing. But like, I mean, like packs of people, and there were a couple, but it hasn't really been that bad.
No.
Like, I think I'm quite pleased.
When we ate lunch, I feel like I didn't see anyone for a half an hour.
Yeah.
I saw no one. And that seclusion was really nice.
That's like another $1 right there.
Yeah, no people. $1. And this stout little waterfall, like, definitely, that's worth a couple of bucks. Woo! It's probably like $1 per like hand that I can go over like this.
That's a hell of a value.
Yeah, it's a $5 waterfall. The lower lakes seem to have big, loud, amazing waterfalls, whereas the upper lakes seem a little more close-knit You can get closer to them. Like, it's right there. Wow. I can't touch it. I really thought I was seeing it from afar. I was like, I'm gonna touch a waterfall, but I can't touch the waterfall.
Go ahead, lean in.
Don't let go. It's wet. I can't even imagine that each corner has just some stupid amazingness in it. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you have tons and tons of areas, like all the beautiful that Kansas is supposed to have, like all that flatness and the interstate that's just like straight and you're just driving and driving and driving and you don't even need to think about it. It's like all the goodness that could have been there got sucked up and filtered into here.
Why are you hating on Kansas?
I'm not trying to hate on Kansas. It could be anywhere non-beautiful world.
They got a ball of twine.
I'm sorry, but would you rather have the ball of twine in your backyard or this? I'm gonna take this. I got a new favorite.
Yeah, and we're still in a world where I haven't seen two waterfalls that even fall into the same species.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and what was very cool about this one is that since we rode up the hill and we're coming down, we caught this from above.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it at this really cool angle that we haven't seen any other ones at. And I don't know, I'm kind of just falling for that. I think it's really nice. That was really cheesy.
Yeah.
But it just fell out of my mouth.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. What the fuck? Oh my god, it's so amazing! Are F-bombs bad? I'm starting to worry about F-bombs. YouTube doesn't want the F-bombs. Ah! But that's so... This feels like being in a big treehouse. Like it doesn't have a roof and somehow they put a whole bunch of waterfalls and lakes in your treehouse. Just walking around on these little tracks, it feels like you're gonna go to the next hut and like maybe you live there and you're watching these people, like maybe they're going to their little hut and it's a really cool feeling. This is an exceptional park. Exceptional. A star for me is just these walkways. I am astounded that somebody created these, got them going, they're taken care of well. For that entry fee, I would expect it. But they're just everywhere and they have these curves and these gentle movements to them. They aren't like box this way, that way. It is like, it feels natural, but I know that it's not natural. And the walkways have been one of my favorite parts. From the fear to the fantasy of like, this has all been here forever. Oh, and here's another waterfall.
This tree is like in the waterfall area, of course, next to a waterfall, because everything's next to a waterfall. And we noticed it's got this really strange pattern on it. And at first I glanced at it and I was like, is that graffiti? Like, did a person do that? But as we look closer, it looks like maybe an insect or something has carved out these little like river holes, like ditches. I don't know what you would even call that. Just these little pathways that have been carved out, almost like it looks organic. And I think like if I go in here, I can, if I touch it, the wood falls apart a little bit. So like, what's going on? What's going on with this tree?
Smallest one.
Katie was talking about how cool these walkways are, and like it's like an adventure to the point of where look how close the water is to this walkway. You are like this far above it, and then you get to this little section, and the walkway's underwater. Like the water's coming onto the walkway. Like, it's a close call how high they built this thing, and it really does feel like, even though you're in like a national park, which is a safe place, that you're on an adventure walking through here with all these people. It is stupendous. When we started the morning, I was kind of like it's like 30 bucks to get in here. We were a little bit pessimistic about it. And we started like checking off, is this worth it with the dollars and whatnot.
Oh man, I threw out that bill a long time ago.
Yeah, this is amazing. Like,
one of the best national parks I've ever been to in my life.
Without a doubt. And I mean, it is expensive, but there's a reason. All the transportation is free, and the maintenance that they have to do to keep this place functioning is like...
It's happening for one,
yeah.
and it is really, really nice.
And yeah, the whole experience. And the fact that every corner, there's not like a moment where you're bored. Like, we've been walking around for like hours and hours and hours, and it's just like, that is a new waterfall, that is a new pool, that is a new little cave.
Even if I'm not seeing one of those things, I'm walking and I'm in nature and I can hear it.
Yeah.
I can hear the water pounding from all angles. I can hear the animals. It's just, there's not a moment missed.
I'm astonished.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally worth 30 bucks. Probably worth more, but don't tell them that.
Yeah. Let's back up a little bit. Not be...
My face is really hard to video, dude, because of how heavy my beard is. It just always looks black. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's better. Too dark? See what I mean? It's really hard. You see my mouth? Are you about to start doing something weird?
Yep. Thanks for exploring a slice of beautiful Croatia with us. Lots more on the way. Make sure you're subscribed. We also have a playlist linked below of all of our Croatia videos. As always, thanks to our Patreon supporters who are making these videos possible. Liking and commenting helps us out too. Also, don't miss us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, linked below.